wanted to just give you a little quick tutorial for those of you who have any trouble replacing skies or sky swapping. This is just the way that I do it. And the tool up here that I start with is the quick selection tool. And I first select the sky because usually if I want to replace it, it's blown out. So that's a really easy selection to make. Then I go up to refine the edge. And with this little brush selected, I brush along the edges of the tree line and then very lightly go around any person or head that you have. Sometimes it will incorrectly select some of the skin because the skin's brighter than the tree line, but that's an easy fix. So after I've gone along the tree line, you can see here that that's not a really clean selection. I'm going to brush over it one more time, and that's something that we'll have to fix outside of. And the more, like if you have the sun peeking over the horizon there, it might select some of the sunbeam there. And if you select something that you don't want, then you can go up here to the Erase Refinements tool and draw over or paint over what you don't want selected. It's really finicky. See how it blurred the selection here? So you don't usually get a perfect turnout in this situation, but that's something that we can fix after we've done that in the quick mask mode. With 100% opacity, a pretty hard brush, oopsie, and make sure that it's white to reveal. I'm going to fix this area of the sky. And sometimes it's much easier than this. Sometimes it works much better. In this case, I had some fixing to do. And let's see, a little bit of his hair got into that selection, so I'm going to fix that. A little bit of his ear. Okay, now over here, this one's going to be kind of frustrating to fix. For this one, I'm going to soften my brush up a little bit. Make sure it's on white to get rid of this extra selection in the sky. And I softened my brush so that it would mimic the softness of the tree line. And with the black brush selected, I just want to make sure that none of this got in there. Okay, so now I exit quick mask mode just by clicking that button again. And I'm going to invert my selection, so select inverse. And then I just layer via copy to get the part of the image that I want to keep on top, and then I place the sky below that. Now with this sky overlay that I created, I've got a sunburst here. And I want that to line up with the sunburst in the image, so I'm going to flip it horizontally. Then I'm going to increase the size so that I can try to line that up. And if it makes the sunburst a little too big, decrease the size again, line it up just right, and then you can kind of edge the sizing around. It's not that big of a deal if the sky is stretched out just a little bit, because the clouds might look like that, and it doesn't really change the way the sky looks to make it unrealistic. So now I've got my sun lined up. I usually put a brightening layer underneath it and brighten it up just a bit so that the brightness of the original sky where it met the tree line doesn't create some kind of weird border, but it all looks realistic. So that's how I replace my skies. Sometimes I like to blur, making sure that the bokeh or the depth of field matches from the background of the trees and the sky. So when I place the sky, it's automatically a smart object, which is nice because when I go in here to use Gaussian blur, and I'll blur it at about 6.8 pixels, I can adjust that again. When it's a smart object, it puts your adjustments or your filters below it so you can go back in and change them if you're not happy with them, which is really nice because that way you don't have to go back and undo and all that stuff. So you can still edit the blur or sharpening or whatever kind of filter you add to that smart object. So that's how I replace the sky, and maybe it would work for you. And if you have a different way, then there's really like a million different ways to do everything in Photoshop. There's so many different tools and different methods and everything like that. But this is just the way I do it. So I hope that was helpful to some of you, and hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening.